And we know what Jesus was when he was a man on earth. What was his profession? Was he a doctor?
Carpenter.
He was a heavenly doctor, but what was Jesus' work?
Carpenter.
But that's his heaven. But when he was a man on earth,
Panday to si Lord Jesus.
Jesus
Panday to
was
siya.
a carpenter. Because we know Jesus is the foundation. Jesus is the foundation. But also the builder. Without us, without the carpenters, the workers, there's no building. Without Jesus, there's no building, heavenly building for us. And then once though I became, and Jesus came in, and it's like, oh, Jesus, please forgive me for my sins. I could feel right away, boom, that God coming in me. And so it's no longer me. I feel me in there because I'd rather go steal a chicken and have a dinner. I would rather. You're just backstage chatting. No, I didn't do that. Just backstage chatting, just having some fun and fellowship. And here we are. I know I'm in the dark. Out here in the greenhouse, I've had trouble the last few weeks because of internet. And so I'm actually in a greenhouse right now, which is closer to the router. I don't know what this shadow is. It doesn't matter. Oh, there.
It doesn't look green. It looks more white and black from where I'm sitting.
It does. Probably the shop light over there. But there's the this way probably has more plants. Somewhere has more. Anyway, plants in the dark. Trust me. Hey, welcome everybody. And hello, Robin. And out there, and you got a link. We're gonna have some hopefully good time tonight. Getting back into some of God's creation that I think gives evidence for a creator, designer. And but first though, Man, I just had a real good sermon yesterday at church, and was just about how God came down in weakness, and whether or not you believe He's real or not, you can believe that as the creator of the universe, He kind of took a back seat and humbled Himself. And whether or not you're thinking that's on the you know, fictional or whatever, it's still not something that most authors would do, is put their hero as a weakling, somebody who let people ride all over him. So I just wanted to do a little, yes, because I missed a couple of really good messages and things that really spoke to me. But yeah, how the power, God coming to earth, became man, walked in human flesh, weakness, all that good stuff, allowed himself to be brutalized, um, abandoned by even his followers. And it's so much, actually just hit me how, a lot of times we have so much division in the church. And poor Jesus didn't even have people following him and not just staying in line, doing their own thing, dividing against him. That was all out of fear, of course, but doesn't matter why. And so um, that he chose the weakness, and then through the weakness, and people will always joke about me, with me, because my speech isn't that well. I have a pretty good even my poor daughter yesterday, we were hanging out and family thing, and welcome, Robin. And so I said something that wasn't even close, and they understood me. I think the same syllables were there, but the word was, I knew it wasn't an exact word that I was trying to make, but they figured it out. But yeah, to be able to be uplifted because
You're froze there, Dan. Well,
okay, he just didn't tell me I'm down to 5%. So, but to be able to juice like the compete professionally in a very stressful, and but you need some knowledge behind you in flower shows, competitive garden shows, even just being able to talk, preaching all over the world. God, I would not do that on my own. I like to blab, you know, in being part of a group, but no, actually to actually try to lead something, not my thing. And hi, Robin, how you doing?
I'm good, Dan. How are you? Where you
I'm
been?
I'm sitting up straight. Back's good, so that's a real blessing. And then yeah, getting things going here in the nursery. Even tonight, gonna come on at 5, and then it's like, oh, it didn't get dark till 5:15. I was out mowing. We got rain coming on in, and they didn't get some mowing done, so it's like, man, better do it before the weeds are
Are you showing beaver
hiding the whole
videos?
nursery.
Are you showing beaver videos?
I'm gonna show some of the ancient, and I hope I got the right one, because I did it real fast. Because I go, Stephen, what do you want to do? He goes, I thought you wanted to do your show. You haven't done it for so long. So I dug some up, but I wanted to, yeah, again, show just those. Let's get into it. Um, the
Just make
Actually, I'll
sure
do
it
this one.
wasn't false advertisement.
Did I? That was my titler. Okay, so I don't,
I
Stephen.
put amazing beaver. I don't know what you guys want from me.
I want you to tell me what you title things.
You said beaver episode. I titled it about beavers. It's all going to play together. People will see.
Are they worth barbecuing? That's all I want to know.
Oh my gosh.
I
That
think
was
they're actually in the rodent family. I wouldn't recommend eating them.
um
You have to parboil them.
Okay.
sounds like they probably have a
What
lot of muscle to them.
I think I have a lot of gristle. A lot of gristle.
Oh man, they make jerky
if,
out of them. But back in the day, I guess they had enough game animals, and that probably sufficed. But here's this is a short one, and as I do this, I'm going to I am going to plug in. I might lose some light, but you guys don't want to see me anyway. But let's see. Here we go. Okay, it's been a while. Let me. What am I doing?
I don't know.
Where'd it go?
Well,
Hopefully you shared the audio. I hope you flipped that toggle when you shared this screen.
Uh, um. So, and this is just some ancient stuff. And tell me real quick if you guys can hear it once I hit start.
There were also camels in North America. There's a camel
Yes.
called Camelops. That was pretty cool. And a giant beaver, like a 5-foot tall beaver.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the giant beaver. Beavers scare me.
Especially a 5-foot beaver.
A 5-foot beaver? Think about what a little beaver could do with its teeth. They
People
chew-
have found logs that have been chewed on by this thing. Just imagine.
What, did that die out in the Ice Age as well?
Yeah.
So that's like 65% of all the megafauna in North America, right?
So many big things. There were also camels in North America. There's a camel called Camelops. That was pretty cool. And a giant beaver, like a 5-foot tall beaver.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the giant beaver. Beavers scare me.
Especially a 5-foot beaver.
A 5-foot beaver? Think about what a little beaver could do with its teeth. They
People
chew-
have found logs that have been chewed on by this thing. Just imagine.
What, did that die out in the Ice Age as well?
Yeah.
So that's like 65% of all the megafauna in North America, right?
So many big.
All right, so we'll let that play until Dan comes back. I think he's plugging in a lamp. But yeah, interesting. 5-foot tall beaver. Could you imagine tackling that?
take your arm off with one chomp. Make a nice fur coat, though.
Man, yeah, I know, 5-footer. Wow, that'd be too big for my wife.
Now, you guys would agree if ancient beavers were 5 feet tall and they're topping out at like 3 feet tall now, that would show some sort of loss of information.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, how is it supposed to evolve into something better when it's just getting smaller?
Doesn't make a lot of sense. Dan, you keep freezing in the worst frames.
That's a good picture, man. Screenshot it real quick.
Close that second window, Dan.
It looks very interesting.
Oh, brother. There you are. Are you back with us?
You need some stuff happening in the DNA level to do it, because that's actually what our DNA and then the epigenetics, which controls how things grow, how many arms, legs we have, all that good stuff.
8 feet, wow.
8 foot from wild card. I'm not going with anything because last time on our show about beavers, we read a Google thing. Just I'll blame that on my tech guy. He was looking to Google and it's like, whoa, it's bigger than this. The beaver dams, and then we got in trouble because Google lied to us and we put it out on the air. So we'll try not to do that this time. Robin, you check us.
That's Joseph. He works for Dr. Hovind. He's got all kinds of stuff on those beavers there.
I can imagine. Hey, Joseph, can you come on in, or are you unable to do that? So the next one was, before we get to the 10 things about beavers, this one is, I just had to throw them in. They're so cute, only because the cartoon, if I get it right, of the Tasmanian devil. I might even show this one before, but it's just funny. And I like this guy. I don't know what his beliefs are, but he does crazy animals. And did you put it back up on screen there, Stephen?
There you have it, sir.
All right.
No.
And let's see about Mr. Tasmanian Devil.
Don't have any sound on my end. Did I freeze or did everybody freeze?
Dan, we don't have any audio there, bud.
Really?
Yeah, you're gonna have to unshare and then share again with the audio. But that
I'm
thing
having a
looks
good
angry.
time with it.
I have no
I'm
less
having a
than
good time with
I have no
it.
less than 2 X's that look just like that.
No, let me try this again. Tell me quicker, because the audio comes right from the beginning. If we get it. Now there's no.
I don't think you unshared it. You have to unshare it and then reshare, and when you open the tab to share, you have to select the audio.
I'm totally a tech guy, but to put on our cover that I'm just a president and not the tech guy because everybody wanted me to do everything on this channel. Stephen and I have to pretend I don't know this stuff. So I know I have to, whatever you said I had to do. What's going on?
So Doc has Joseph, and I am your Temu version of Joseph.
Okay. I knew I was trying to let that go. My stupidity, let it go. That I called you Joseph. Okay, we'll try this again.
I wish I was Joseph. I wish I had those mad skills.
Okay, let's try it again. Quicker if I don't have. I think I have to. I don't even think I can get back to the beginning. We might have to go through this thing.
Yeah, no audio again.
Are we hearing it?
No, but I can come up with some kind of sound effects. Let me see.
Chew on some wood. Chew on some wood, Stephen.
He's just talking. Okay, I'm having fun watching it, but I already watched it.
That's a Tasmanian Devil.
How come the other one worked? Uh-oh. Still going.
Dan, I really think you're worse at this than I am.
I'm just pretending because all our friends think I'm supposed to know how to do all this stuff and command this channel, and I am just the pretty face behind Proverbs Guys, and you guys should know that. Anyhow, oh man, this one better go. So this is the 10 things. This will be 10 things about beavers. Now Steven's like, man, maybe I shouldn't have talked him into having a show. And it has nothing to do with me not being here forever. Okay, let's try this again.
It's just if we don't give them Dan, the atheist will stop hating on us and we won't be relevant. So we have to give them their fix.
You're the nice guy now.
If there's no Dan shows, Claude's not going to do film about us.
Where is Claude? Oh, it's Monday. He probably he's probably out getting drunk because he hasn't had me to go after.
No, okay. we have one viewer from Twitch, and I'm always assuming that is Claude. So I think Monsieur Claude is with us, but not with us.
Hello, Claude.
Okay, do you hear this one?
No. Would it help if I pretended I could hear it? Deep in the Highlands of Scotland.
Come on, why isn't it working? The first one worked. There, read it yourself, people. Pretend you're it's in French. It's in French, and so you got to do the subtitles. Yeah, they're master builders.
How many millions of years would it take for the technology to evolve enough for our shows to not be bad?
It
May
really.
the heat death of the universe may hit first.
I could
And people are switching over to watch Mary Tyler Moore or something. You know. Never mind.
okay. I'm gonna try to
look
side.
at these beavers, though. Look at them.
But what do these beavers prove, Dan? I mean, can't evolutionists say that this is just proof of evolving?
I
Here,
think
I'll
they're
do the
just
narrative.
proof
I'll
that
read this.
beavers are awesome. That's what they prove. Beavers are awesome.
They are awesome.
Okay, 4. Beavers are true environmental engineers. They build dams
Intricate.
across streams. Okay, you read it then. Protection from these dams even play a vital role in preventing floods and recharging something. Communicating among beavers? I thought this was about symbiotic relationships. Anyway, it's all right. Who's going to read this? People read.
If you
Grunt.
think about it, Dan, this is symbiotic. You need a pink one and a blue one. I want to see the evolutionists get around that.
They're amphibious creatures. Beavers have a remarkable adaptation to see both underwater and above it. They have a nictitating, I don't know what that is either, membrane that protects their eyes while swimming and searching for food. While beavers primarily eat tree bark and aquatic plants, their favorite delicacy is the water lily.
Oh, I'm going to keep them away from me. I just brought in some containers to plant in a bunch of water lilies because they're going to freeze outside. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, you'll have a bunch of beavers at the house. These resourceful creatures dive underwater. That was too fast. Of these beautiful flowers
That's the first because
to reach the roots.
yeah, that's the perfume.
Oh yes, I bet they
Now
smell.
that's
They use scent to mark their territories and communicate with other beavers. They have scent glands near their tails that release musky oils,
is that where the hippies got their stuff?
which act like a unique beaver perfume.
Beaver Society.
Beavers are highly social animals, living in close-knit family groups called colonies.
Hey, I wonder if they have the 13 colonies. Is
They
that
often
where we
mate,
got that word?
they often mate for life and work together to raise their adorable kits. Oh, I did not know that.
Dang. I think I heard that on the last time we did it.
Instilling essential survival skills. Kits. Their babies are called kits.
Oh. Historical,
Despite their
because they want to wear them.
adaptability.
Adaptability.
Oh, Lord. Beavers face historical challenges due to habitat loss and overhunting. Thankfully, conservation efforts have helped them rebound.
Showcasing the vital role they play in maintaining ecosystems. So here is maybe this is our last part with the symbiotic relationships, because last time we were seeing how they will restore whole ecosystems with bringing beavers in. Some of the overgrazing, I think the one was in Idaho, that they brought in beavers, and within just a few years, I think it was a 5-year, there was so much growth for the other animals. And there you have it, 10 interesting curiosities about the beaver. Okay, I give that a -10. I thought it was symbiotic relationships. But anyway, Um, again, as we look at this, even though we can say, yeah, this was a design show with me and the video, I hope it was them that messed it up because I thought it was symbiotic relationships. Now you can see though what the thing's doing, and there's a lot of bird life, animal life when they do their little or big structures through dams. That it's just amazing to think that little creature has and we think, I'm not going to say what you said he was, Stephen, because you might have been wrong. He's a rodent,
Hey, Dan, close
and
your
we
second
learned
tab.
that from last time. Second tab.
Yeah, close your second tab, the one you had of the video. That way it doesn't affect
The one
your
with the
internet.
beaver. Oh, you got another one. Oh, you got a cool one.
This is the beaver tail, and Joseph wanted us to see it x-rayed. He says it looks like a lizard tail. X-ray can't pick up soft tissue. Wonder what some of these dinos actually look like. That's an interesting point.
Oh,
You know, because
and that's not that's not even a that's not a creation. Creator, not creator. That's just as we see in modern times. Yeah, and all of the recreations, not all, but so many of the recreations, it's just humans doing their best. I'm not saying they're being um, bad about it, but trying to do their best. Oh, Stephen, where'd he go? Oh, he's right
I'm
there with
still here.
that. Is that just a picture? Or is
No,
that a
that's
picture
my
or video?
that's
Then the
that's my
other thing.
background.
Oh, okay. Is the just the skeleton of the beaver and other animals is crazy. And then okay, going through that one we've seen before on the just having a camera inside the beaver
And
lodge.
if I can, Dan, while you're looking up your next video, I've pulled up symbiotic relationships in relation to the beaver, and it gave me mutualism, which is when both species benefit. Beavers and certain plants. Beavers feed on trees like willow, aspen, and alder. By felling trees and building dams, they create wetlands. Wetlands increase biodiversity and create conditions for other plants to grow, which indirectly benefits the beavers by providing more food sources in the long term. Beavers and fish/amphibians. Beaver ponds provide habitat for fish, frogs, and salamanders. These species don't directly help the beavers, but healthy fish populations can help control insects, which can reduce parasite loads on beavers.
Well, and we see that all through nature. I saw one either I think it was alligators that these birds are inside of their mouths. We have the hippos that go underwater, and the fish will actually go inside their mouths and clean up after them. Again, and of course, that's where I hope we're to the point that people can agree. The godless evolutionists have evidence. The same
Dan,
evidence that we have, creationists have evidence, and that um, but what is the cause? And
What
that's
about?
where we can differ.
Can I ask you a question? What about the evolution proponents that actually believe in God? Because you're saying godless evolutionists. Because you know that like a majority of Christians in the world actually accept evolution.
Um, I don't know the numbers. I know
I
in the
think that's
West,
because they don't have enough knowledge to.
well, I would say that it's again, we all have the same evidence, and so that would be the group that believes the evidence there is needed or points to the best explanation being the creator. It's just with again, that's an inside discussion and disagreement with Christians, but otherwise, and I'm gonna let you say it because I always say it wrong. I say chance, but you,
Probabilistic.
thank you. The probable, yeah, I'll even let you say that because I'll stick with chance because it's easier to say. Probabilistic, and
Good job.
that that it's still the probability. Is that the right word way to say it, or is it defined differently?
Now it's
Is
the same
that
word.
is what?
It's the same word. Yeah, probabilistic.
Okay, so the probability that the billions of letters of DNA and trillions, if you say the difference between different creatures, because it doesn't take much difference between the beaver and, say, some kind of rat or other close relative looking creature, because the DNA, with that many um, individual, and we'd call it language, and you might term it something else. It's still a lot of information rich. And so, did I put that up there? Look at that cute little guy.
I think you're about to get us banned by PETA.
No, that's supposed to be. The title said it's rescuing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, that reminds me of how our government rescues us, Dan.
I
Oh,
know. It's like,
it was
come on a
bad.
little closer.
It doesn't
Come
look
on a
like
little.
he's trying to get away from it that very much, does it? I want to. Do you want me to read this? I looked this
He's
up.
close enough so they look good on TV.
I looked up my claim. It says estimates suggest that over 70% of Christians belong to denominations that permit the belief in evolution. Though acceptance varies greatly by region and denomination, with European Christians showing higher rates than those in other areas, and younger generations generally more open to reconciling faith and science. Um, yeah, of course, most of them, except
Oh, kitty.
that believe God guided evolution, or God started it or something.
Yeah, and the only thing I'd push back on that is I know from the Philippines, and you know why I have a little um, information there. High Catholic population, but they even in their schools they laugh at the evolution and are more creation based. But again, a lot of people do. So, and I'll even give you that
Like
might be the
seventy
case,
percent, it
but
says,
it's still.
like 70% worldwide.
Yeah, I would put that down like some nations that are Catholic that still don't, but it's getting more and more because of the school systems and people following science. And what a cute puppy! What's your puppy's name?
Oh my
He's
gosh, the dog.
he's a purebred knucklehead.
Ah,
He looks like that dog. What was that movie? That dog was like a person. And do you remember that?
That shaggy dog?
Yes.
oh, yeah, an old one. And
He's a
then,
doodle variant. He's got Australian Shepherd and Bernese Mountain Dog in him also.
oh, yeah, I have one of my most disliked dogs. Customer has, but it's a part poodle, part just stupid. Um, and
But those
it
are
still
pretty common.
it still barks at me and comes to doors like Louie, Louie. Pretends like he's gonna eat me up, and
Take it,
I
take
gotta.
it, take it a pork chop or something, Dan, next time, and throw it out there. He'll love you.
Yeah, well, I should take snacks again. Maybe some rat poison. But
No, we'll be too
okay,
ridiculous.
that was a total joke. No, no, it's really good customers, and I only
Yeah,
can think bad thoughts about their dog. But
take it a little bit of your piece of steak or some pork chop, and that thing will love you.
yeah, we actually, and that's actually not bad. Maxine, she's she runs away a lot. I mean, she does what she wants, and so I saw this thing. You put a treat in your hand like this, and you can within a day we trained her to heel without the leash. She just thinks she's going to get a treat the whole time. So um, just like me, I will I will do tricks for food, especially when you guys were talking about what I do. No, I did right. So that was the presentation there, and again on the stuff that I think we would a lot of science goes on uniformitarianism. Is that right, Robin? Where we judge things of the past because of the present, and then there's just so many things. And you'll correct me because I'm sorry, Robin, because I know the last time we were talking, which was probably October or September, before my back was out, and we were talking about the chance probability thing, and I was going to look it up. I didn't look it up, but I'll go with that. The probability. So are they saying then that the probability is for adding all the new information or decreasing DNA, which also can add new body things. We got the one I heard was the cheetah, and it's probably will probably go extinct because even though it adapted and changed to be real fast, it can't breed that well, and therefore a very negative mutation, and the population is dwindling because they're not having as many kittens. But how do you explain that, Robin?
How to explain what? The beavers aren't multiplying?
No, it's the cheetahs. I moved off onto cheetahs.
I'm sorry. I was answering somebody in chat. I don't know. I don't know what I don't think about the cheetahs. I don't know. They can still run pretty fast though.
They run fast, but if you can't breed, you're in
Well, they're
trouble.
losing. I guess they're losing habitat, right? They're losing like man is encroaching onto um their natural habitat, and I don't know. And like probably hunting is. I don't know.
Yeah, the one I heard was that they just, they have a hard time conceiving.
Oh,
So
okay.
even the ones that are in the native outbacks and the protected areas
Uh huh.
are
So they may be like a species that has a hard time breeding or something.
yeah, and so which would be a negative mutation, which is actually evidence for whether there is a God or not a God. Of course, the theist will say that yeah, it's the world is genetically, biologically changing for the worst. The godless evolution would say, it's roll of the dice whether something is going to get better or worse or probability wise. Um, Joseph, man, why don't you get in here? If evolution said, Stephen, if you're going to put it up, read it.
Yeah.
If evolution suggests that an amoeba gave rise to man and did something rather than bring forth after the amoeba kind, it does say something about God.
Not really. Not really.
that is that is actually a question I've had. Is that so? And I almost had it. I was having it, and I was like, "Whoa, that doesn't make sense." So, Robin, when you talk about the the things don't, oh, what's it called? When something doesn't change, like, humans will not change into something else.
Are you talking about stagnation?
No, there's another word for it where things
Speciation or like I don't know what you're
no, you know how
like. We don't ever leave a clade. Is that what you're trying to
yeah,
say? Like
yeah.
okay,
Um
like we will always we will always be great apes, no matter what evolution happens to our species now that exists now. We will never stop being great apes. We will never stop being primates. We will never stop being. I really don't even know all how far to go back, but it's like mammals. We will never stop being vertebrates. Um, and we are multicellular, which is I can't remember what the word for that is. I don't know.
oh, good. That's why I like you around. You don't make me feel dumb. We can explain. We don't have to say the exact word. We can explain it
I
by
would like to ask Robin a question though, Dan, if
yeah.
Well,
I
see,
may.
remember, Rob is not a biologist.
No, of course. Well, neither are any of us, Robin. You're in good company.
Okay.
So that
But I
thing on the
trust you
thingy
more.
job.
Sorry.
Now, my question is, if evolution does work that way, I'm wondering why we don't look anything like the other apes. But when you take like fossil clams that were 5 feet wide, we see virtually no change at all to the clam that we have today, other than size.
Yes. Okay. First off, like the idea that something has to evolve and make a lot of change is a misconception because things like things evolve. Evolution occurs according to trying to um, be the fit for your environment. So, like the crab is obviously like a shark too are obviously very fit for their environment. Like they are like they so that's why there's there's been sharks too. And there's very little change in sharks except maybe in size and stuff like that. But like they're fit for their environment. So there was not no pressure. There was not any kind of like environmental pressure for them to do a lot of evolution, to do a lot of changing. Now, as as human Homo sapiens, we are 7 million is what the most scientists say. 7 million years away from the split with the other great apes. We split off with, of course, we split off with the orangutans and the gibbons and stuff earlier. The last split that we made was with the pans, which is the chimpanzees and the bonobos. But the chimpanzee bonobos had not split yet. They actually split after we split off with them. So they are, but we are like that is so we're like equally genetically related to a bonobo or a chimpanzee because they split off after they split off with us. But that's 7 million years that we've had to evolve, and we our ancestors, unlike the ancestors of the pans, left the trees and became upright, standing upright. So and there's different hypotheses on that why that occurred. Mostly because a lot of them say that it benefited us to be able to stand up and see out over the grasses, so we could see if something with the grass was moving, so we could like spot a predator out in the grass. But then there's also some new evidence that finds that maybe we were already standing upright before we left the trees. That we were like gibbons. I don't know if you know how a gibbon walks. Have you seen a gibbon, Dan? A gibbon,
Yes.
a gibbon like walks standing up, but it holds its hands up like it's hanging in a tree all the time. But they walk real weird. But that they are already, they already walk right upright. So One of
And
them, I mean, like I'm not, I don't know exactly how sure they are on whether we became upright after we left or before we left the trees.
I mean, that brings up two other questions for me. Like,
Okay.
so for the shark, I could see why it wouldn't need any, you know, evolving in its nature because it's already a top tier predator. It's built amazingly. But with the clam, on the other hand, you would think that there's multiple pressures in the environment that would make it evolve into something more than it is now. Um, like no useful skills other than being food for everything else. No way to communicate with other, with other clams. Whereas with sharks, they have very complex ways and methods of communicating. And then that also makes me wonder, why did mankind why is it the only species, to use your language, that can write and communicate in multiple languages, but we never observe that with any other species?
Good question.
Um, well, I mean, first of all, we have like beyond other species that have brains that are as developed as ours, which um, are there are very few animals that have brains. Like the orca has the brain development that is somewhat equal to ours. They don't have, but they don't have hands. So like they cannot do anything with it. I believe actually if orcas had opposable thumbs and hands, that they would probably rival us for control of this planet.
The thing is unless the whales were Italian, there's no way having hands could help them speak.
The whales can speak, like they just don't speak what we speak. They have a language. They have a very complex language that we're trying to learn. Like they do make sounds and stuff. I mean, like you know, like just because they don't like we assume that we're the only animals that speak and communicate with each other, and we're not. We just are the only ones that speak the languages that we speak. I mean, like a lot of animals make all kinds of communication with other animals, and
Well, that brings up two more questions though. Like one, aren't there older branches of us that you guys would claim come from the same like ape family? Why wouldn't any of them adapt to speaking yet if they're older than us? And then my other question from that would be, okay, so take dogs and dolphins and orcas. They can all understand us no matter what language we're speaking. They can understand humans, but we can't understand any of them.
I don't
It's
know.
almost like they have that genetic something left in them from Adam when he communicated with them and named them.
Why do you think that dolphins and orcas can understand us?
I don't think it's just dolphins and orcas. I know that the claim is they're the ones with our brain capacity, but my dog understands me. Like she knows exactly what I'm telling her. And the same with my son's new cat.
Yes, I mean, like some animals, but that's because they're used to certain commands and stuff. Like if you think that when you and Krista are like having a conversation about just like if like us sitting around talking about evolution right now, do you think your dog understands anything about evolution?
I don't
Well,
know about that, but I know the other day my
it
wife and
learns
I
command.
started talking about clipping her toenails, and she darted for my son's bedroom.
Yeah, that stuff that they don't like, they will certainly pick up on a key word out of it. Like you can, like if you want to take your dog to the vet, a lot of times you cannot say the word vet
The
because
thing
once they pick up on that word, they're like scared to death.
I would agree with you. The weird part about it is, though, that we had never clipped her toenails. So that wasn't an experience that she'd have any knowledge of to even be afraid of. Like picking up on a bath, I would agree with you. She knows what a bath is. She hates that. But she had never had her toenails clipped, but she understood we were talking about clipping her toenails and she wanted no part of it. But I can't understand a darn word she says.
but I
I don't.
think where the language part of it is that the highly advanced, complex language that humans have is unlike other creatures, even your dolphins or whales um, all that good stuff. I know Maxine has a buddy next door, big old German Shepherd that acts like it's gonna rip her apart, but it'll bark to her aggressively, like I think it is, and she'll run over and they'll run the fence together, and then he gets bored and she can stick her head through, and he just like they're just playing. So they have minimal communication, but it's not much. So, Robin, can you see this chart I put up?
Yes.
Okay, and so what you could help me with is like these the main tree trunk, the blue and then the yellow, then going off, there's green on the side there and all that good stuff. So somewhere back there, somebody changed from their little clade because all our mammals are up top. And so somewhere, some of these guys down on the bottom, they changed from their clades.
What do you mean? Change from
Uh,
the blade?
well, they
No, if they were vertebrates, they're still vertebrates, and if they were um, mammals, they're still mammals. Like you will like a mammal will never evolve to be something other than a mammal. Like you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Like you don't like we're primates,
now,
even though we are not
yeah,
monkeys.
but I'm saying
We are primates, and so like, and then the primates split up, and then we will always be great apes, no matter because that once you're in that thing, there's certain things that I don't understand why you think that they left their play.
no, I'm just saying way back at the beginning, we have the origin of life, which we have no clue what that is, but when you go up there along the tree part, those I would think were their own little clades, right? They were either single cell and then it branched into multi-cell, but those then they didn't stay that. Then
We're
they branched
multicellular.
in. So
We're
somewhere
multicellular.
back, correct, but somewhere back to the beginning, they changed. They weren't mammals. Something became a mammal. So
Yes.
therefore, something had to change from a non-mammal to a mammal.
Yes.
Something had to change from an animal to a plant.
No,
Um,
no, and like no, they didn't go from animal to plant, but yes, we evolution. Mammals were not like um the I can't even think what they are now. Like whatever a kangaroo is.
marsupial.
Marsupials.
Oh wow, I get a
Mar-
point for that one.
yes,
That
you
was
do.
quick.
I have a stroke brain still.
Well,
Marsupials predate mammals. Marsupials were first. That's why the continent of Australia was populated only by marsupials, because Australia broke off after marsupials had evolved and had populated the land masses, but before the mutation that caused the placenta, which is how we got mammals. So that's why when we got to Australia the first time, like you know, well, there was already humans that got there too. I don't know. I still don't know if we know how they got there. I guess they might have figured it out, but there was only marsupials as far as like those kind of animals. There were insects, there were birds, there were those kind of things like that. But there were no mammals on Australia because Australia broke off. The landmass broke off before the placenta evolved.
right, and then so wait a minute. So we have them in California, United States. We have the possums. We had big ones down in
Yeah,
South America.
there's only
So
one here in North America. Only has the possum. That's the only one we have.
right, but so you're saying that those guys came first before the mammals?
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
okay,
At one time, that was the only. I mean, like the outside pouch or whatever marsupial pouch was the only way. They could show that like they could carry their young. And but when now they our brain is evidence for intelligent design. My brain is definitely intelligently designed. Can't you tell? That's why I can't talk or remember.
Well, I thought you said that was a medical thing, so we'll.
I know.
Okay, but it looks like the kangaroos on this one, of course, and I'm not. That's why I'm not saying because I just picked this thing out. I don't know even if this is a kid's thing or whatever. But on this particular one, it has the right here the kangaroo, and of course, this is not complete because it's just kangaroo split off. Um, and then, but higher up is where the mammals split off. This looks like so that's where this is kind of confusing. And like I was saying, is that somewhere in these joints, and always the joints, they don't have creatures there, but these joints. So okay, so on each of these little joints, limb or branches, isn't there somebody like at the joint? We just don't know who they are yet.
I don't know. I can't really read that. It's like too small for me to read. But
Yeah, it
um,
is.
and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a biologist. I'm just giving you my layman's version of what I know about evolution.
Just had the
Welcome, Christian Pike.
Howdy. Robin, I can interpret for you. What he's trying to say is that your mom is a jellyfish.
Your mom.
I'm a jellyfish. I'm a jellyfish.
Not Robin. No, that's Stephen. But
It's Stephen.
I was going around the way to get there. But you see what I'm saying, Christian, is that that whole thing of and I had the word up there.
I literally just got here.
Okay, so it's the monophyla. Is that
I know what that means. Yeah.
That means that you can't, like humans, can't go into something else outside of our.
Well, the idea is that biology subdivides and it never converges. There is like what they say is almost like the illusion of convergence, but it's not true convergence. Biology always subdivides. It's kind of like a biological form of entropy. It only goes in one direction.
Okay, and then so and that's where my question was, because down, if you go back in time, where there we go, back in time on the trees, and this one's cute because it has a lot of cool pictures, but in the nodes, the branch where the branches split off, wasn't that another creature that evolved different
Well,
directions?
a chart such as this one is just made to be cartoonish. It's not really made to be literal. This kind of chart is a very, very, very elementary representation of what they believe. Um, so you couldn't take like a specific thing from this chart and argue from it because all they would do is just take you to the hard data about that specific subject that the portion of this chart is just meant to be in the place of. So, like, for instance, if you look over here on the purple branch, or not the purple branch, I'm sorry, on the green branch, you have in one place ferns and in one place shrubs or whatever. Like, yes, they do believe that all plant life shares common ancestry and branches off from each other. But this specific cartoonish chart is not meant to literally show those divisions. It's just meant to show the idea of how divisions happen.
Of divisions, but doesn't it like so? Actually, where the blue and the green, doesn't that though represent a biological life form that split off, that changed?
Yeah, like the idea is so there's three major categories of biology, which I know you guys know this, which is animal life, plant life, and fungi. and fungi is actually a little closer to animal life than plant life, which I always thought was kind of weird, genetically speaking. Um, I'm not really a true Darwinian because I don't believe in universal common ancestry, but I do believe in the principles of our Darwinian evolution as far as in practice. And when you look at a chart like this, if you look at something, for instance, that's like easier to imagine, like old world and new world monkeys, if you showed a branch somewhere on that tree, hypothetically, that branched off into old world and new world monkeys, the pivot, the point of that branch where it branched off would be whatever monkey existed when South America broke off of Africa. That would be the joint that turned into the two branches of Old World and New World monkeys, because that's the theory of how those monkeys became diversified, is that South America broke off of Africa and the existing population was separated and began to evolve isolated from one another. So yes, the short answer to your question is yes. Every one of those elbows is supposed to be the most recent common ancestor of everything else that's on those two branches.
Very well said, Christian.
I think that's right.
You did
Okay, so
very
but
well.
that's where the I think it's whatever that word was.
Phylogeny is just like what they do to classify things. It's just the system that they use to organize life forms into.
Well, Christian and Robin, maybe you guys could address this comment from Joseph.
I have
Okay.
no. I'm not a geneticist. I don't
Again,
know.
neither are we.
I'm an
We're not
expert because
pretending
you
to
can
be.
tell by the N64 shirt that I'm an expert. So I'm feeling pretty qualified right now.
I'm sure somebody can answer that question.
Okay, let me read it.
Well,
Hang on.
actually, that's not even a question.
He says, we have genes called orphan genes, no known homologous structures, taxonomically restricted, didn't come from others. Honestly, I don't remember the details on orphan genes, so I don't know enough about this to comment. I'm sure what he's saying is probably true, but I don't remember anything about it. And I'm not like a biologist. I'm just a person that every few years I want to read a biological textbook, or not really a textbook, but a commentary on it. Like every 5 or 6 years, I just read some book on biology that's way over my head and I'm interested in it. But I really don't understand it the way that a scientist does, not even close.
Yeah, okay, so here it is. It's the phylogenetic evolutionary tree. Now, that's the one that it kind of just
Look at that whale. That's a big old whale.
you can't
I can share my screen. I
change.
can answer that.
Mammals will always be mammals, and then
Oh, yeah. Can I comment on that, Dan?
yes, please.
So that's one of those things that's a little bit confusing, and they do it for the sake of classification. When they say that you can never outgrow your ancestry in a Darwinian sense, they're not saying that you can't morphologically become something that does not resemble your ancestry. They're just saying that if you descended from something, you are technically the same thing as that something. So, for instance, true Darwinians believe that all birds used to be reptiles. So they would still consider birds to be a subdivision of reptiles. Just simply, if you were to look at it on a tree like this and you followed the branches in the reverse from bird, you would eventually get back to reptile. That's all they mean by that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense if you go on farther, because there was things that were not, that were not reptile. It would have been so.
Well,
They
like I said, I'm not a true Darwinian. I know a little bit about the theory as far as just taking like a passing interest in it.
Yeah, so I mean, it'd be saying like, oh, that single-celled organism will always be a single-cell organism, but it did branch off. In evolutionary standards, it did branch and become. So one branch kept, I guess, as single-celled. Yeah, they would, and then another branch though turned into multi-celled. So the
Well, the
single
way
cell.
that they would respond to that is they wouldn't use single celled and multi celled as the necessary classification, which I realize from our perspective sounds convenient, but they would use something like eukaryotic cells. They would say that everything that used to be a single celled organism that was eukaryotic is still eukaryotic.
But then you'd have to go to the plants, and then that came either way. If it was plants first and then it changed to the animal life, then those guys changed. I would say is that just doesn't sound, if things evolve, and then the other thing is like where it says, well, alligators are good enough, but that's not
Good
uh,
enough.
that's not how evolution seems to work. In that there's there's no there's no direction for the
Well, there
for
really
the
is no direction. That's one thing that I think a lot of people on the more conservative religious side of this argument really don't appreciate about the other side of the argument. And it is, you can take it from me because I've done a lot of debates. It is very valuable to understand the other person's position the way that they understand it, whether you agree or disagree. And the other person's position is that nature doesn't have any objectives. You know, things just go, and it's like water, it follows the path of least resistance. That's sort of how survival of the fittest works. And so if you take something like us, which we think of ourselves as being very advanced, very evolved, very intellectual, and you know, we're super creatures or whatever, but from a scientific standpoint, if we were to evolve back into an ignorant monkey, the Darwinian theory would have no problem with that, because it would just say that the circumstances necessitated that that life form was more suited than this current life form. They don't have a preference as far as that goes. They don't think of higher or lower life the way that religious people do. And so I think a lot of people on the conservative side of this argument just really don't understand that Darwinians don't believe in higher and lower life forms. They don't think that a whale is higher than a plant or a man is higher than a whale. They just think that biology is whatever it is, and it remains ever malleable to the environment.
Yeah, I would actually put it
That is a
more.
good steel man, a perfect steel man, Christian. Yes, and see, I've tried to teach Dan some steel man positions, like for his like the probabilistic terminology, because when he uses the random, and I told him that no, people don't claim that evolution is random. Like we don't
Yeah,
claim.
it's not random in the sense of how people use that word most of the time, because it's actually very predictable. You know, one of the examples people often give, just like for children, is, you know, in England when they started doing the factories and the soot, that all the black butterflies survived and the other ones got eaten because the soot made a covering for the black butterflies, and so they survived. That's a very predictable evolutionary outcome. And hypothetically, if an algorithm were able to gather the sufficient information, you could predict any evolutionary outcome, because it's just the forces of nature at work. The same way that we predict celestial mechanics down to an exact science, hypothetically, with the right information, you could do that with biology.
Well, we kind of do with like the flu shot. Like
Yeah, you could look at that as an example for sure.
yeah. I mean,
No,
because
but
we
oh,
predict.
so so that's why I'm wanted Robin to come on the show eventually, and working out good is that, yeah, I do want to learn how people stand. But so then there was not the once, and there is things that the moth thing was a hoax, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, it
Is
was.
that
Even if it was, it's just simply to make a point.
exactly? And that's why
Let me, Dan. Let me say something though.
yep.
Yes, because Joseph said steel man. No, yeah. What Christian was advocating for is steel manning your opponent's position, like because if you're arguing against something other than their position, if you're misunderstanding their position, you're not arguing against like what they're saying. And so, being able to steel man your opponent's position and not straw man your opponent's position is effective when you're doing a debate, right, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to. I don't like debates, and I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't like learning and being corrected and correcting other people. I mean, any of us who are students in life like that. But debate is more of a sport of the wit rather than is a praise of the right information. But
Correct.
if you're
Totally.
going to win the debate in front of an educated audience, you have to understand your opponent's position well enough to be able to steel man it. Otherwise, you will not win the debate.
Good night, Stephen. No, and that's where that's why I wanted you to come back, because every time I say the randoms, um,
Oh, can I
but
comment real quick on the moth thing, Dan? I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
It's not relevant if that study was true or not. That's not really important.
Right.
The purpose of that is just to display that given the right information, we could predict evolutionary outcomes. If you have, for instance, a population of fish that spawns a color that predatory fish can't see very well, like yellow, then it's just to be expected that those fish will survive and reproduce more, and that color yellow will become more prominent in the species. And so things like that are just sort of like common sense. And I know that creationists don't like to use the word evolution for just mundane examples like that, but from a scientific perspective, that's what they mean by evolution.
No, and I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that, so when I say random or chance, it's not that the black moth and the white moth that are there, but it's to get the black and to get the white. There's no direction that made a moth pop out white and another one pop out
Okay,
black.
so yes, there is a degree of randomness. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Lamarckian evolution. Lamarckian evolution was a competing theory with Darwinian evolution early on, and I don't remember all the details. So anybody out there who wants to correct me, save your breath. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but from what I do remember, Lamarck felt like there was some sort of conscientious thing happening within the genetics responding to their environment. That is not what Darwinian evolution teaches. There is a degree of randomness to the extent that random mutations are produced, and then some of them are predictably favored. The first part of that is random, and that's why Lamarck's theory really kind of went out the window, because there is no way of explaining how the body would respond to its environment. Now, I'll tell you this, as a religious person, I actually think that Lamarck might have been onto something, and that God may have actually designed biology with the ability to adapt and change as needed. I don't have any evidence for that, but I do find his theory very interesting as a religious person.
No, exactly. And so that's where and that's where I was confused with because I from my study is that the mutations themselves are random
But they're not.
and by chance.
They're actually called probabilistic, not random. We use the
Okay,
word,
so
but they are probabilistic.
um,
Like,
so but that sounds more like
Probabilistic.
directed, and
What, what
that's
Robin
where
is
I
what,
kind of
what,
tried to
what
look it
Robin
up.
is saying what Robin is saying is that a certain organism with its genetics can't produce just anything at random. There are only certain mutated productions that are possible within that organic life. So we can limit it down to, like, say, this is a dumb example, but maybe this can say it better. If every mutation possible in all of biology were 100%, then you might look at a snail and say, well, a snail can possibly produce up to 12% of all possible mutations. So it must be confined within the 12% that's possible for that organism. That's sort of that way of thinking. So it's not completely random to the extent that it's not going to grow a feather. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, totally, okay. So, but there's nothing. So we'll take humans. There's nothing that's going to direct the mutation.
That is the Darwinian view, and like I said, that's the majority view. There is a Lamarckian view that somehow biology responds to its environment. Nobody in the serious academic community believes that, but I kind of believe it, to be honest with you.
Okay, but then that would have been created in to do it that way.
That's my view, but like I said, I don't really have any evidence for that. It's just a thought that I have.
Yeah, and that's why it's fun to
Well,
play with.
because we know, like, all of us can agree that organic life is malleable to some extent. We all know that things do reproduce and change, and certain traits get favored and certain traits die out. Like, we all believe in descent with inherent modification. So whether you want to call it microevolution or whatever, all of us can observe nature and see that something is happening.
No, exactly. And so, Robin, would it be better if I said non-directed mutations?
you
Because
just
that way,
don't want, you just don't want to use the word probabilistic, right? Because
I that it just doesn't make sense to me that it's probable. Because
Well, okay, saying random's fine. Don't say random chance. Like
Okay.
that. How about that?
So
What about Rich? Let's let Rich get on here. He hasn't had a chance to say anything.
I've been
well,
trying to step in, but you guys, seem to
oh,
be rolling it pretty well. Biology is not my strong point anyway.
Oh, you're more into the cosmology, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am. I do have a couple questions. If you guys want to back up a little bit, we were talking
oh,
about
sure.
what was it? Sorry, I've got a headache, so I'm trying to remember what you guys were talking about a little while ago. But survival of the fittest. There are a couple things that just don't make sense to me. If everything kind of came along that way, where does sleep fit in? Because every time you sleep, you're putting yourself in a very, very vulnerable position. How did we evolve the trait to need to sleep if you know there's a high probability of everything dying as it rests?
I'm not. I mean, I know that our bodies need this, like, need the rest. Like, I'm not sure how sleep evolved. Like most animals sleep. Some sleep less than others. Some sleep a little bit, but um, like our ape ancestors, figured out to hide in the trees when they sleep. They nest up in the trees like the other apes do. Like the bonobo and the chimp.
Yeah, but even before they figured that out, when you get tired, you lay down, and the odds of you getting killed, are still pretty high. Also, I guess, like, how does emotion fit into evolution? I mean, if again survival of the fittest, I need more resources to keep myself alive. Where would things like love and hate and stuff like that come into place? I mean, if I love these people, wouldn't that be
I think
less
they probably
important?
emerged with our, like I think of consciousness. What I understand about it. Of course, I'm not a biologist,
Yeah,
but
and
from what I
that's
know,
another big one there. Consciousness. How did it evolve?
well, I mean, I think that the emotions are something that developed out of consciousness, like and I believe that. I mean, we're not really sure. We know that, like, sentience, like animals have there's a lot of animals that are sentient, but like we think that. I'm gonna say we, and I don't know why I'm saying we because I'm not a scientist, but like there's parts like human brains have specific areas that are not found in all animals, and like there's like orca orcas, like I was talking about a while ago. Orcas have some of the same developed brain lobes that we do. In fact, one of theirs is bigger, and in the frontal cortex, I think it is,
Right.
and they have a lot of emotions, from what we can tell. Like we um, back in the day when we were catching them to use them in SeaWorld and stuff, we took calves away from the mothers, and they would go through a lot of like anguish, and
Well,
we
yeah,
now,
it takes
like, in the last 2 years, we've had one whale that we've spotted two calves that she lost. Both calves died, and both
mm,
she had a calf, it died. She packed it around for almost a year on her back, and then when she ended up having another calf, she that one died, and she did the same thing.
mm,
So like they have a lot of emotions, and they will like cry out, sort of like in pain when you
yeah.
split the parent and the child up.
But how is that evidence that of evolution? To me, it shows like you know
Well, I mean,
similarity in design.
we find this in animals that have certain parts, certain brain, there's certain lobes that in their brain that has developed more than other animals. We
Right.
don't find those emotional traits in animals that don't have this specific brain, function.
Can I address something that Joseph said? I'm sorry. I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, you
No,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
You're doing fine.
So Joseph said while I was gone, he said, "Can Pike agree that this isn't a salvific issue and it doesn't matter in the long run?" So I certainly don't think that a person's knowledge or understanding of biology has anything to do with salvation. So, I mean, I think that the short answer is yes, I'll agree to that. But I will say this: anybody who truly believes the Bible has to be a creationist to some extent, because the Bible is unapologetically creationist literature. And it even tells us that there were certain created kinds of life. They're not ever as specific as creationists like to think they are. They're not West African giraffe, but there are these broad created categories of life that are unrelated according to the scriptures. So I do think that a thorough study of the scriptures um, would lead a person to believe that the Bible is a creationist book and that all organic forms of life cannot be related according to the Bible. I do think that. That's the reason I'm not a Darwinian. Because if I was just following my own mind and the scientific evidence, I would have been a Darwinian years ago. It's simply a position of faith that I take because the Bible teaches special creation. But I don't think it's a salvation issue. I think that's what Joseph was asking me.
What is that message on stream?
I hope so. I don't know. It pops up every once in a while, and I just say you guys are all cheap viewers because nobody gives me any money. I don't know. I think it's some kind of advertisement. But sorry, everybody out in the comments. But anyway, I looked at this because this Rob and I have gone a lot. And this is just AI or whatever Google. I
Okay,
have no clue. This is a question. I'm not going to get. Oh, I'll get in trouble again anyway. It's okay. So, I better go because that's kind of hard to see.
I see what you wrote. I see what you got there.
Probabilistic evolution describes how randomness and chance, alongside deterministic forces like natural selection, shape life's changes using mathematical models to predict evolution. So I'm not. I'm using chance and random as opposed to a guided thing. The randomness meaning that it's, and so that's why I said I think my words would be better if I said undirected.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how you're using the word random, then yes, it's random. In the Darwinian sense, there is no objective in mind. It's just nature is responding to the biology, and in the Lamarckian sense, biology is responding to the nature. But in both of those cases, there is no objective. There is no plan.
Yes, and here's the thing though, like the random and the chance are not what evolution claims. It claims that probabilistic. So you have to put the alongside deterministic forces, like your like natural selection is one of the mechanisms, and genetic drift and things like that are some of the mechanisms. So like to say that it's just randomness and chance is leaving out all of the rest of that sentence right there. That is considered part of evolution.
Oh, and then so, but I could say, and that's probably my problem because I use that in reference to the mutations themselves, not how
That's
they're.
but that's where that's coming from though. These are this is what it says about them. They're talking about the mutations. It says evolutionary path by considering mutation probabilistics, whatever possibilities. Is that what it says? What does it say? I can't read. It's so small on my
Yeah,
screen.
probabilities
Okay.
passed by considering mutation probabilities, genetic drift. So,
So you're kind of when you're straw like I said a while ago, you're straw manning evolution when you say that the mutations occur by random chance because you are ignoring the rest of that sentence, which is part of
okay.
you see
Well,
what
that's why I think I'm not even using it that way because
I'm
this
okay.
way here. But I'm just saying as the mutations themselves, and I can change. I don't. I mean, I have no dog in the hunt, but the mutation itself is a random chance occurrence, and then the I see what you mean now with the probabilistic. That yeah, I am not going to have or my child's not going to have a mutation that makes a um, photosynthesis cells inside of him or
Yeah,
her.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'm not, and so I never even thought, and I don't use that when I say a chance mutation. I'm just saying whatever mutation pops in, it wasn't directed. It was random and chance that you got more like in the mammals. Yeah, I don't think there's chance or random that it's going to pop out, um, you
A
know,
feather, like
a feather or something like that. Um, so
yeah,
and
I was trying to help you when I pointed that out that night. I was trying to help you better steel man the position that you're arguing against.
And that's why I'm having you on talk, because I still now I'm understanding why you think I was straw manning, but yeah, I never thought, and I never use that because we do, the crocoduck or um the funny type things that people say.
You say crocodile.
I don't even think they believe that. I think that's kind of like saying Magic Man in the sky or the spaghetti monster. Um, you know, I don't think evolutionists really think creationists believe that, God is some created thing, um, in our belief system but yeah, but is that all right to say that, when I say random chance mutation, it is that there is only certain mutations that can happen in a human being
Yes.
because of our DNA. And so I'm just saying whatever does happen is random and by chance. It's not directed. Is that fair to say? And but it's not going to pop up feathers. My son's not going to have feathers. He's not going to have, certain type of things
Well,
out of
you can use that
different
phrase
types
now
of
that I
animals.
know that you know the difference on what it is. So you don't have to say probabilistic because I know you don't want to say that word.
That's tough for me. That's a tough word to say. Um, but and yeah, so very good because see, you guys were straw manning me on what my interpretation. Never mind, it's all good. But I'm really saying, Ron, because when I say that, I had no clue that you thought when I said random chance that that a bird could come out with earlobes. Maybe they could. I don't know because there might be birds with earlobes. That's probably a bad example. But a bird coming out with a non-beak or a nose. I know that's not the way. But during mm, you know deep time, couldn't a bird have change the hard beak to a softer nose thing? I mean, I don't know that actually the DNA of that bird, what epigenetics and whatnot controls the beak. I don't even know if there's is soft things, but anyway, thanks for I'm still I like knowing what people think and how they think and how they define things. And so it did take probably 6 months at least to get you on here. 'Cause I either way, I think God created it from the evidence, and I don't wanna be wrong in how I wanna steal man. Even that sounds weird.
It is a good it's a good tactic to try to steal man. It doesn't mean you agree
Correct.
with that doesn't mean that you agree with your opponent. It means that you show that you understand their argument, like in a way that they are presenting it.
And
You
that's
know,
where even right now in our group where I don't I'm actually talking to a Greek, or not a Greek, is an American Orthodox priest, because some of their stuff, it's like when they say something like man can become deity or a god, and it's like, what do you mean by that? Because I'm used to the Mormons or the Jehovah's Witness, so I do want to steel man their argument to see if it's even their definitions,
yeah,
because I went in years with the Jehovah's Witness and Mormons because I ain't that bright, and I want to know what they're actually defining things as. Um, And so anyway, it's fun. That's why I love this.
Well, there's a quote, and I don't even know who said it, but it said that the one sign of a intelligent mind is to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. So, like, to be able to consider a position without necessarily agreeing with it, but be able to understand that position.
No, exactly, and that's where I think, and I think I hope you would agree that it doesn't matter what somebody believes. It's more, I think, in the individuals. You have people that, whether you're godless evolution or atheistic evolution, theistic evolution, you've got people that are actually trying to understand other positions, and people that are just like closed-minded, and of course the creationists, that you're closed-minded, and it's like, if you don't agree with me, I don't want to change. I don't even want to know what you're trying to think, because anyway.
Yeah, you can't communicate with each other I mean, I see atheists do the same thing, like straw man, like the Christian position, or even just the theist position about like how God created. I mean, like it would be like me saying, "Oh, God, twitched his nose and like created everything." I mean, like there is a there's a way to straw man anybody's position, and it doesn't help you. Um, it doesn't help you actually argue against that person, in either with them or in front of other people, because once you kind of start throwing straw men, you kind of lose that the group that would have paid any attention to you, that might already believe opposite of what you do, but they see that you're not interested in learning their position.
Man, I think that, and I think Christian, you'd agree, is like, I want people to at least think I'm genuine in my beliefs, that I'm not just like, arguing to argue. I really believe what I talk about. I know, Christian, you believe what you say, and then also you're open to change if evidence goes that way. We all have the same evidence, and
Oh, I believe you believe, Dan. I don't doubt your belief. I'm just saying, if I was to straw man your position of how
mhm.
how like through the Bible or something, about straw man a biblical story about Jesus's resurrection. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. It's like I should know that argument, your argument that you're making, before I try to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just people refer to that just as debating in good faith. If you don't have a genuine interest in the subject and enough of an understanding about both positions to know which one you think is right, you really have no business engaging in debate in the first place. You should just be a student and listen. And um, it's weird when it comes to the kind of stuff, because you talk about what you believe. Like, I have tiers of things in me that of importance, I guess is a better word. Like, I have an interest in science. I have an interest in music. I have an interest in philosophy. I have an interest in poetry, a great interest in nature. Um, all of those things are things that I'm interested in, that I have beliefs about. And then there's other things that I really have no interest in, like politics and things like that, that I learn enough about because I have to, but I'm not interested in them. They're just like a burden to me, and I have to deal with them. You know, construction work would be an example of that. I know about it because I have to, but I'm not interested in it. So like down here in like C tier, you have like the necessities of life. And then above that in B tier, you have things that I'm actually interested in, that I take pleasure in learning about. And then since my conversion, there's a tier above that, which, for lack of a better term, can just be called religion. And the things that I have come to understand and experience about the spiritual side of life are so much more real to me than the things in B tier that I'm just interested in. And I didn't even know that A tier existed. I thought B tier was as high as life got. And so I do think, just from personal experience, that a lot of people who think the way that I thought in my late teens just simply don't understand A tier. They just have never had an experience in life to tap into that thing that is far above what we thought was interesting. I wish I knew of a better way to say it, but I experienced that where I found out there was a whole nother side of life and a whole nother thing that you can experience that is a whole level above the things that you thought that you enjoyed and were interested in. And that's really what spirituality is. It's A tier, and finding out that everything you thought was A tier was actually B tier. I hope that makes sense.
Very well put.
It does to me. So that's why we lower you around. You can explain things to smart people and stupid people.
Why
So,
both? That's the reason why.
and yeah, because it's so cool. Again, with the, my testimony, the experience of, just trying to be a nice guy, and then the whole sin thing. Because I know, Robin, you mentioned now. I'll just say it. I don't know if it was you or not, but did you say you don't believe in sin?
No, I don't believe in sin. No.
Okay, yeah, I think it was you. I just heard
Yeah, I
the other
think
day.
you would have to believe in God to believe in sin. I can't imagine how that would exist outside of a belief in God.
I mean, I believe there's, I believe in morality, and I believe that I don't believe in necessarily objective morality, even though some atheists do kind of argue for objective morality through evolution. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't been convinced by any of those arguments, but I do believe that, like, but sin would be necessarily something against God, and so no, I don't believe in that.
That's what I was saying. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
every human being believes that certain things are wrong by whatever metric they use to judge that by. But the word sin implies that you're disappointing a force that's higher than yourself.
Yeah, see, I always just take it literally on the, it's missing the mark. And do you? So maybe I'm out in the weed patch, but like Hitler, he wanted to eliminate all the Jews. So he kind of just, on the seeing the definition, he blew it. He sinned because there's still Jews around. There's so sin is just missing the mark,
Dan,
but
you're missing the mark on this
Dad,
podcast
Dad,
right now.
Dad, Dad,
They're going to
that,
cancel
that,
you.
that could be.
you
I mean, if
might want to stop on that. Yeah.
now sin,
I'd like for the record to show that I love the Jews.
no,
Yes,
I do too, and
especially.
I'm glad that Hitler sinned. He missed the mark of his target. So
I'd like to
sin,
quote Dan. I'm glad that Hitler sinned.
I think maybe you might want to just like drop that thought
So
there.
about that weather, Dan.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's cold. Maybe it's affecting my brain. Oh, and Joseph,
No,
yeah,
I understand what you're saying. You're speaking of the word sin in a sort of technical sense.
And
correct.
I've used that word sometimes. Like I'll say like a sin against humanity or something like that. I've used that in a colloquial sense. That doesn't mean that I thought it was a sin against God, but like I think electing the current president was a sin against humanity.
She
I
That.
wanted
guess
that
what it's
Kamala. Look at her.
missing your mark then, and that's what I
Yeah,
was saying with that.
thank
And
you. Y'all
again,
definitely missed your mark. Oh my
defining defining terms again, because then I think of sin being more general, not biblically sin is missing your mark, what God wants you to do, but yeah, just genuinely, then I'll go back even more neutral stuff, with somebody who wants to buy, he wants to own a bunch of different corporations.
Look at cat.
A
God.
kitty trail. So that wasn't even a rabbit trail.
She is the YouTube princess.
What's her
Every time I
name?
get on YouTube, huh?
What's her
I
name?
call her Little Red. Her name is actually Taryn, I think.
I love to name animals. Can I name that one?
When she has a name, I call her Little Red. That's what she's always been because she's real
Henceforth,
small.
henceforth, that cat shall be known as Rebecca.
But I call her Little Red. But she, like my daughter, always names our animals these really weird names that can't remember, like
Yeah,
Taryn. and Shazoo and stuff like that.
Yazoo's a good one. I like that.
And then I come up with my own little nicknames for them. So I call that one Little Red, and she has a sister. I can't even remember what her real name is. I call her Sissy. And then Shazoo is a little bit.
A little bit. You sound like you from where I'm from, Robin.
Oh, that's great. I like Philip. Philip, like our cat we have now is called Toasty. He was probably eating toast. I don't know why he called it Toasty, but it's an easy name. I don't like those weird
Look,
names.
there's a dog that used to show up at Dad's house that was a blue heeler that just wore a bandana, and so we just started calling the dog Bandana. And now that's my favorite dog name ever is Bandana.
Oh, that's cute. That is so cute. Yeah, it's a weird thing. And again, just people would probably think I'm abusing my little kitten. I rescued her from a restaurant, um, and she was real small. And I found this. I think it was used at the Humane Society for shows. It's only like 2 feet by 2 feet by about 5 feet high, and that's her house. If she gets out of there, she freaks out. We're in a small place right now, so I just kept her. She just really loved it. I put her in the house. We moved, and she just freaks out. She's a little spastic on that. So I got this little cage for her, and open the door, pet her, and all this stuff, feed her, and she just, if she goes out, she just like starts to spasm, and I think it's related to when she was a kitten that, everything was going to get her, and this is a nice little safe place for her. But it's weird how. But anyway.
Yeah, my 4 cats, all 4 came from my dairy, one of my dairies that I used to pick up. And like the cats didn't last very long. The kittens, when they there was like always several hawks circling, and there was coyotes running around there.
I've been seeing a lot of hawks more lately than ever, I think.
I've seen like hawks that, like I've seen them just circling like where the kittens were and stuff, And every day when I would leave there, I would just be like, I know the next day there was probably the likelihood that one of them would be missing. And so all 4 of these, and probably, but I could have rescued like hundreds of them from there, but I just wouldn't let myself take them home. But these 4 have managed to go from there.
Oh, a cat trail. One day, and that's why I do not pick up hitchhikers. I never really was into hitchhiking and picking up people, and but I was stranded about an hour and a half away from finishing a flower show. And I was called, like, Dad, you got to help. I had my daughters doing it, so I hitchhiked. So I got there, finally got to a bus. Somebody picked me up, got there, finished it. We had this finished by midnight, and but then. So there's this lady on the road, well dressed and everything. It's like, oh man, I just, I'll pick her up. So I pick her up. It turned out, I found out who she was later, but she was a cat lady. She had a ton of cats inside of a small house, and I had to keep the window open. It was like, "Ooh, hello, how are you doing?"
I don't think I stink that bad, but I used to pick up hitchhikers. So I used to.
Oh, this was that.
I used to, but that was a long time ago. So.
Yeah, but it's like I had to have the window open. I was gagging, and it was interesting anyway. But
I honestly kind of hate cats. I don't even know why. I don't want them around.
Yeah, a lot of guys are like that.
Yeah, I just don't love them. I don't know why.
I like them. They remind me of girls and females.
My brother-in-law does not like cats. Like he used to do. I'm not gonna say on here what he did, but like he told one cat though, he would say that cat always has a truck tire behind it whenever it's sitting down. You know what I mean? Like that's so.
No, I've always liked cats. Maybe because when I was little, we'd get strays in, and I'd stay by myself a lot of times, and it was kind of a challenge to tame the cats. Take a wild cat that won't get close to you and just sit with it and talk to it and have
why
it.
Take that challenge? You know what I mean?
Because it's
because Dan didn't have any friends that he needed to bring instead.
I tried to.
Underneath the bridge.
Cats are like they're different than dogs. You know, what I mean, they're not like they're different than dogs. They have totally different personalities.
And cats are kind of like women to me, the ones I've known, in that it's like they do what they want. They
Yeah.
and I think that joke, which is so funny, it's like the dog wants to worship you, and the cat's sitting there waiting for you to worship it.
Yes.
And so maybe that's it.
Yeah. Cats definitely think they are gods. Yes.
And it's kind of funny because we just were laughing about that earlier, my wife and I, and Stephen was on Messenger, and it's like we're talking. It's like people who think Christians are at least modern Christians. I don't know, American Christians are. Oh, my wife's a doormat. I raised 3 daughters, and I feel sorry for their husbands, and not that I didn't, with Christian principles,
Hey,
but
Dan said you're a doormat.
Did you think I was going to come to dinner or something? You don't want
You'll
me to
never
dinner?
forget for that, Dan. You'll never forget that.
That's great. But it's like I had one, and I tell the story, and I love it. My middle daughter, who's a lot like me, that's probably the problem. She was doing landscaping with me, and there's this construction guy, is total liberal, and he would debate me. He'd come out, he'd be doing this really high end woodwork, and he'd come outside to cut the boards, and then we'd fight. We got to the point, it's like this was back with Bush, and he goes, "You just want to kill all the whatever," and it's like, "Yeah, kill all the Iraqis." Just and then he'd say, and we'd go back and forth, even way straw manning each other's positions, and we'd have fun. But he came to me one day and goes, "Your daughter is the biggest feminist I ever have met." And this is a guy who is a feminist guy. And he was like, "But my daughter wouldn't bow down to whatever he thought." And which was kind of a
Videos people make where they're like feminists back in the 1960s. Is like, I think women have opinions. They're really great.
I don't know. My mom, she was born in 26. Man, I dad had to toe the line. Not Christian, nothing. To me, she was the good thing of feminists. No, I have an opinion. She ran the books. My dad, workaholic. Not a yeah, he worked, but to bring in things, bring in to supply the family. It was a great dynamic, but it really taught me, because it's like they had that dynamic that if Dad wanted to argue, he would just go fishing, because he would not win an argument in the house.
I mean, like
Go fish or
feminism
hunt.
isn't needed unless misogyny exists.
Well, and that's
As
the
long
thing.
as there's not misogyny, there's no need for feminism.
Look, I'm gonna be the in the minority here. I'm gonna say we need more misogyny. We need more misogyny. Okay,
I know I need it
I
in
want
my
to come out
household.
swinging on this one, Dan. I don't have any choice.
I
Pam's
agree.
mean, and I need a way to shut her up because she's mean to me. I need to get that power back that we used to have, Robin.
I know.
We used to have.
I doubt you had power.
I want the power.
I don't see Dan having any power either.
I hear stories of how they used to
You
have
know
the power.
You know it. I had my 3 daughters here, and we were making Christmas wreaths last night. It's a tradition we do since it's been in the family for 4 generations. And so they're 5th and 6th, my grandkids. And so we're here making wreaths, and it's like, but I'm too stupid. I still have to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. And they just, they
I do
just,
that most of the time.
oh yeah, they just smile. And it's like, Dad, please don't do that in public. But yeah, it's a thing, especially guys with daughters. It's like, how you can do. And then wife, I'm on my 3rd wife, and it's like, I'm going until I get one that submits. I'm waiting, because I don't know how long Gemma's going to put up with me. But it's like, I'm looking. Maybe I'll become a Muslim, because then I'll go to a country that they do have to obey and wear their little burqa and all that stuff. And it's like,
Dan said you got to wear a burqa and obey. She's giving me that look, but I wouldn't be able to see it if she had the burqa on. Then I'm starting to understand the burqa.
Yeah,
The
because they
burqa
have
makes
holes in
sense
the
now.
eyes. So yeah, she'd still be able to
Oh,
get
the eye holes. Yeah, but those are like
Oh,
regular
no,
muscles.
no, no. Gemma, I'm getting her a full one. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
get it covered.
okay, so you're gonna like lead her around or what?
I'm starting to understand the burqa.
Because, so she does, and right now,
Eyes. If you wanted to be able to do anything, Dan, you
That
had to
that
get
Mohammed might have
eyes.
had a point, Dan.
the
That's all I'm
net, you
saying.
have a net going across that net, so you can kind of like the horses. They can kind of see, can't they? Just maybe put it to the side,
They can see in front of them, but yeah,
kind of like those bee suits. Maybe that over top their eyes.
beast
So
suit.
no,
I don't really know what's going on in this conversation.
I don't
It
know.
certainly has evolved.
Are you worried about getting a mean look or being stung? I don't know which one is it.
oh no, it's often, but that again, you look, and especially biblically, to and because there are different groups of Christianity, but you look at the Acts of the Apostles, and those women, they were evangelists. They were out there. Priscilla, the who might not even had a husband, that was a seller of fine purples, linen, and and then the prophetess and prophetesses that were around, they were kind of a dichotomy. There was again, I think, just human beings who wanted to control everybody, and then other ones, but the Bible was kind of like, yeah, you have your role in life, and it is not to be a doormat, but it's to be a helper. Have you
Not,
heard that one, Christian?
not
That
to
was,
be a crazy cat lady.
yeah, it is much safer, because that's the thing, is like, you get the radical feminist, and they're like trying to be just the polar opposite of a misogynist, and I think it needs to be in the middle. And I know Christians right there in the middle,
Yeah, I don't
and
care.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
usually
care.
how they describe me, Dan. Is very moderate, just right there in the dead center of the spectrum.
on that, because
I don't do
I'm
it for men to hold the door for me
Now
or
I do hold the door. Like I feel like a man should
carry
obviously
heavy
do that.
stuff or what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah, I
mind.
don't hold the door. You know I hold the door. She started looking at me on the door thing. She knows I hold the door. Dan, I'm about to be on wife number 2 if she keeps on. If she keeps on, Dan, this thing's coming to an end real quick.
Yeah, all right.
yeah, did I just hear like a shotgun, like
There's a shotgun. Yeah.
in the background? Because that's
Amazing beavers.
because Gemma would use, some kind of like little razor blade or something. It would be, slow, painful, without a lot
Look,
of.
speaking of slow and painful, I have to go to sleep.
I
Yeah,
do too. I'm
I
freezing
think
out here.
I
Our
think we're
greenhouse
probably
is a
about
cold
done.
house. Yeah, it was an awesome chat.
Who's wreaths?
Thank you for the
You've been
beavers.
making wreaths?
Hey,
Tammy said y'all been making wreaths. Who's making wreaths? What the? You ain't made me no wreath. You ain't mailed me the first wreath, Dan.
send me your address.
Dan, I'm gonna
No,
need
I'm
one of
great.
those.
Send me your address.
I will. I'll send it to you.
Hey,
Look,
no,
y'all
back in
be
the day,
blessed.
That's
May the
for like
Lord
elf
bless you.
doors, isn't it? Like those little bee wreaths. It was for like elf doors or something.
Yeah, you gotta have
well,
an elf
that's
door.
for a candle.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. That's a little small, like in your table or something.
How
Yeah,
did you know Dan was making wreaths?
he said it.
Oh, she saw it on Facebook.
Oh, see, she pays
Oh.
attention.
Yeah,
Unlike,
she follows. I don't even
I
pay
didn't
attention.
send you a friend request on Facebook, Dan.
a what request?
I didn't send you a friend request on Facebook.
She's too good for you, Dan.
No, I just didn't think that he would like to get that because, like, I post like about one thing, and I don't think Dan would like it much.
What about milk trucks? I love trucking.
No, I'm not milk trucking anymore, so I have
I know that.
alternative shit of my time to think about, you know, somebody you like.
Oh, I know. Okay, I'll come back with you. I'll come back with you with those Trump 2028 things.
Lord.
Robin's like milk, the origin of the universe. It's kind of the same thing if you think about it.
No, no, I have. Yeah, no, you can. And I haven't seen yours, or I would have friend
But
requested
yours
yours.
just came up and suggested people because I'm
Oh,
friends
and she
with
said
Steven.
no. Ooh.
No,
No, I didn't. He didn't send me a request.
You
But
probably click that little X on it too,
I thought
Dan.
Dan will go crazy if he
You know that
reads
little
all these
X?
posts that I make about Trump. Like he'll be like,
no, I have a few friends like that. And usually they unfriend me because I have fun because I don't like Trump. I've never liked Trump. I just don't like Washington D.C. And so it's for me, it's fun that I just like Trump was like throwing a rattlesnake into a bar, and a full bar. You see all the rats just like going out. But anyway, that's my thought of. I don't like any of them.
I never been to a bar where it was full of rats. Like it's usually full of
Our
people.
people are the rats.
You're throwing a rattlesnake into a bar full of people.
Are y'all ready to make Greenland great again?
No,
I'm thinking green looks real great right now myself, actually.
All right, look. Y'all
All
have
right.
a wonderful evening. May the Lord bless you. May all your dreams come true. May you win the lottery and send me a wreath. I hope you have a good night.
Thank you.
send me your address. God bless you guys. Thanks, Robin, for
All
helping me out. Now I'm a steel man.
All right, you're still man, yes. There you go.
That just sounds buff. I'm gonna tell Philip, my son, because man, he's starting to hurt. He's out there. Yeah, he wants to do the knuckle fights, and I can't do it anymore. I got bone on bone, and so I do knuckles with him. And the last time I did it, I just almost hit the floor because he hit me just right. And he's got that 12-year-old power to him now. Almost 13. Well, thanks everybody in the comments. I'm sorry I didn't get to you guys, but
We've been ignoring them.
I think Robin, you did so well, and Maud she was supposed to come on. She was supposed to.
Maud, she always skips out on us.
And thank you, Joseph. Oh, Joseph said goodnight already.
Yeah, good night, Joseph.
Oh, 7 seconds ago. Thanks, Joseph. We got to get your internet going so you can come on and help me out here. Today was just more. I just wanted to be a steel man, but I got some of your comments, and there is no doors or ends on this greenhouse. That's why it's a cold house. Unless the sun comes out, then it's a hot house. One of the problems I'm trying to deal with here. And then there's what else was there? Oh, that's wild card. Oh, forwards, backwards.
This was a wild conversation considering it's titled Amazing Beavers. Yes, yes, yes.
We evolved.
The beaver thing I have done figured out was Steven luring me here.
No, I did that. That was the videos I did have. And again, it was quick today, so I thought the one would be more symbiotic relationships, and was the 10 ones, because there's so much. It's just awesome to see all the birds, the fish, the wildlife that come around an otherwise destructed environment or deconstructed environment to become its own little habitat for so many things. Bruce!
Oh,
Bruce
hi, there's Bruce. Hello, Bruce.
Yes, he was just too chicken to come on and fight me tonight. Bruce, just joking. I actually would have hoped you would have come around earlier. And because we're about ready to shut down.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Bruce, how is work going? And that job going well? Is that the non-believer Robin? We're working on her. We are working on her, and you work on people with love, not attacking them all the time. Plus, she's meaner than I am, so I want to go to meet her next year at the what is that? The atheist thing at the Ark Adventure.
Oh, you're coming to the ARC thing?
I want to. I almost went this year, but we were
You know how? Do you know what it's like in Kentucky in July?
I bet it's a lot of buggy.
Oh, it's like the most miserable. Like it's 105 or something. No air moves. It was terrible.
So why do you have it in July? Because you guys are tough.
I don't really have it. Like the reason why it's in July is because that was the anniversary of the Ark encounter
Oh,
opening.
okay. And so you guys go to get heated up. So you got you work on them with truth. Yes, Bruce, in love and no division.
I probably won't be there next year
Oh, it was too
because
miserable.
I mean, like, yeah, well, I'm not, if I'm not in any better physical shape than I am now,
Oh,
I probably won't.
definitely. Let's see.
I'm still not walking without
Oh,
my walker.
oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, so definitely, I'll be praying for you with that because I do want you to get that spunk back. Is that yeah, because that's right. That was like in May, June that you had a little stroke.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're looking good. So I haven't seen you walk, and so yeah, you're looking great. And
Yeah, sitting in a chair, I'm doing pretty good. No, I don't look great, but um, yeah, I have to have a walker.
mm, that's amazing, though. What medical stuff does nowadays, and I'm looking at comments. What was that?
Yes, I'm reading. But it was fun, Dan. Thank you for the beaver videos, even though we didn't get very many of them.
Yeah, well, and actually, how long have you been? And I've wanted it too to explain and just to figure out the whole. Wait a minute, I got it up here.
You could ask Christian; he could have done a better job of explaining it to you than I could.
Oh, yeah, no, but you're the one that brought it up, so it was like I wanted to get you to probabilistic. Oh, I can say that if I read it.
You did
Probabilistic.
good. Yeah.
Yes. So, Bruce, don't turn on don't turn on God. Seek Him first, and all things will
Oh,
be added to you. Yes, that is true.
okay.
You
Can we get let's like I'm not gonna be yeah.
no. So very good. Thank you, everybody. Let me see if I can get out of here properly. And nope, that's music. Part of the Reliance Corps. Thank you, Robin. You.
Thank you.
This is for Bruce. This is for Bruce. Next time we'll get him. In love. Okay, so I'm trying to find my get out of here music. I'm just gonna have to end it. Or Robin, we can sing. No, we don't want to do that. I
No,
don't
I'm
want to.
not singing. No, I'm not singing.
I don't want to do that. Anyway, thank you, everybody. God bless your night. Maybe it's the layer thing. They had that real cool. Yeah, it is. We can do it with this.